and we've put an embargo on permits, issuance of permits to new companies or yearly renewal. There will not be permits.
Yeah, but why did that happen only recently? Because I believe NAFDAC, even without the 50 vehicles,
yes,
you could have had some hint or some information about the abuse of this substance, especially when you know that our distribution is chaotic.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I've taken cough syrup with codeine before. I never knew it could have this kind of effect. So what if I had perhaps maybe inadvertently abused or maybe taking an overdose of the product?
Yeah, that's right.
I might have been susceptible. So NAFDAC should have seen or come up with this warning way earlier than now. Actually,
NAFDAC had a series of programs in terms of sensitization of the community before I came. But you've got to be passionate, whatever you are doing, you know, any organization, establishment, and there has to be sustainability. I came, you know, I joined the organization November 30, and I've made that one of my strategic goals to reduce to minimum drug abuse. And the first thing that I did within my first week was to move directors around. And I put a different person in post-inspection. About 2 months ago, he called me and said he doesn't know what is really taking place. But this has never happened in NAFDAC. 33 containers of Tramadol that we have intercepted. And the complexity of this is that once the importers know that they've been intercepted, they abandon the containers. Now we have to destroy the containers.
So you're discouraging the use of Tramadol at all, or the dispensing of Tramadol?
Actually, it is not discouraging the use of Tramadol at all. You can use the 50 milligram, 100 milligram, that is for medical use. But many of the strengths that are abused are 225, 500 milligram. Those are killers.
No, but when these things get to the country, I believe there's a system that permits them to get to the appropriate pharmaceutical stores. What do you do between that point where they get in at the port and how they are being prepared in laboratories before being packaged and then goes out on the counter?
Okay, let me just give you a little bit of the flow. The container leaves the port from which it was shipped. We, NAFDAC, is supposed to know what is in any container, meaning we're supposed to know the manifest, to have the manifest. We will not be allowed to see the manifest, so that if it is drugs, we know that X containers are coming on this particular day or week or whatever. So we will not be allowed to see the manifest. And I mentioned this 2 weeks ago at the presidency. And then when it comes in, the customs are in control because we are not there. They look at all the containers and figure out how many, what is in what, and then they invite us to come and look at number of containers. We inspect if it is regulated products, meaning products that we have in our books, we allow them to go. If they are not regulated or they are illicit, we impound them, we intercept. But to come to your question, if they are regulated products, they are released to the importers and they pay for the shipments, the import fee and things like that. Okay. And then they get distributed to the pharmaceutical community centers, hospitals. It may be also government warehouses. So that is how it is distributed. But ours is to make sure that what is coming in is regulated. Okay.
We'll come back to that point, but I just want to pick you up on what you said along the way. I think we do remember that the reason why government at the time had to see how they could reorganize those agencies of government that will be present at the port was to ensure that they dispense or goods are cleared faster. Now, If NAFDAC were to be allowed back in there to inspect, how do these inspections happen? Manually or electronically?
Actually, it has to be manually. Again, I was at the presidency about 2 weeks ago, and for ease of doing business, it can be done electronically. However, if Tramadol comes in as building materials, labeled building materials, and it is Tramadol, we have to inspect manually.
So are you going to inspect all the containers that come in?
We do.
Physically?
We do.
That takes a lot.
It takes a lot of workers, yes. That's what our boys and girls do.
Is that the best way to inspect?
In a system that works, it is not the best way to inspect. But we don't have the electronic gadgets to actually, because you can use near IR, infrared to scan containers. So building materials will give you a different
so are you
emission.
suggesting this to the authorities, that that's the way to go?
We can do that, yes. But that is if we have the willpower to use it. Because a technology is as good as the user.
I'm wondering why it has to come in as building materials. Are they banned?
Tramadol is banned in Nigeria because of the abuse. It's not banned all over the world. However, the 50 milligram, 100 milligram can be used if it comes through NAFDAC regulation. But many of the ones that are coming as 225, 250 milligram, 500 milligrams. Those are the killers. Those are the ones that are destroying our children.
If we have that situation of those are the killers, what have you been able to do? Say, for instance, your predecessor of blessed memory, Dr. Dora Akunyili, she was able to go to the source countries where this is coming from,
yes,
and to address the issues right from there.
Yes.
Are you in any way considering that?
I'm actually considering that. I'm considering that, but when I came to NAFDAC, I met a ton. I'm talking of a ton of problems.
Wow.
A ton of problems. From no internet communication in a regulatory agency, everybody using Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail.
But NAFDAC is funded by the government.
NAFDAC is not funded by the government except for the salaries. We spend the money that we bring in, our IGR. It is only the salaries that the government pay. So, but I met a ton of problems. So I had to, because we have to talk with each other. There's no list serve, meaning I want to talk with directors. Let me just click directors. NAFDAC is 2,300, staff strong, and only 700 were on nafdac.gov.ng when I came in.
In the entire country?
In the entire country, only 700. So I said, no way. Everybody has to be on nafdac.gov.ng because that is the way to communicate. If you cannot even communicate, how can you implement anything? So within 5 weeks, all of us, got onto nafdac.gov.ng. A lot of wastefulness. I bet 3.2 billion naira debt, and I cannot sleep with 3.2 billion naira debt hanging over.
How did they?
I don't know. It's just wasteful spending. So I got into action as how to reduce the debt. Those are all distractions, but those are things that I needed to do. When I got there, we had about 6,000 applications, backlogs, over years, maybe 2 years, 1 year, whatever. And I gave a directive. We need to clear the backlogs of 6,000, meaning those who apply for water, food, drug, products, application. And many times I go to, in social circles, people will accost me. Now you are NAFDAC DG. I applied for wine, whatever, water, plants. For 2 years, I've not gotten anything. It became so embarrassing. I gave them a directive of 2 months. And we've already cleared the backlogs. Those are the places where my energies were going at the beginning. And we are in a good shape right now. However, the drug control has taken at least 30 or 40% of my time.
Okay, we'll go to break. We'll come back and look at both the drug control and operations in just a moment.
Thank you.
Don't go away.